Dear grade 9 students, Namaste and welcome to you all in the new class today. Can you guess what we are going to discuss? Great. We are going to discuss grammar first and writing first of the unit 3. You can see here the topics there as well, grammar first and writing first. So before I start, please have necessary materials like your textbook or other writing stuffs so that you can take notes as well while listening or watching to the program. Are you ready for that? Great. I hope that you all are ready with your necessary materials. Shall we move forward? Good. So as I said just before, we are going to discuss two topics. First we'll discuss the grammar item and then we'll move on to writing. Okay, so let's start. Here you are given with some example sentences. You can see here on the screen as well. A, study the following sentences or examples about making requests and offers along with their responses. So here you will be provided with some expressions that are used for making requests and offers as well as their responses. What, for example, you have to say when somebody makes you an offer or makes a request. So let's see the examples there. So looking at the picture, can you guess what these people are talking about? Great. So boy A, character A says, "Can I help you?" Look, can is highlighted there. Have you seen? Great. And the reply can be yes, absolutely. Yes, sure. The boy is going to help there in the picture as well. You can see that. So you can either accept or reject. That depends on your desire or accessibility of the task. Can you guess what dialogue you are going to, let's say, read now? Very good. So, would you like some help? So look, the lady is there, lying there, and the boy wants to help perhaps. That's why he is asking her, would you like some help? Would you like some help? Okay, and she might reply, yes, of course. Okay, so this is an offer. Okay, so when you request somebody, you want to have something yourself. But if somebody offers you something, so other people might want you to have something. For example, do you like hot water? If I say this to you, this is an offer. If you ask me, sir, would you please bring me a cup of tea or something like that, that is a request. Got it? So let's see another dialogue. Can you guess what these ladies are talking about? Good. So the lady A, or the first lady, says, would you like to come for lunch this weekend? Look, would is highlighted. And another might reply, oh, I'd love to, thank you. So she accepts the offer to visit or to have lunch together. Got it? Okay, can you guess what is the condition there? What the dialogue goes like in this particular situation? Can you guess? Okay, very good. You're brilliant. So A says, can you help me with this desk for a moment? Okay. And B replies, yes, sure. Where do you want to put it? Okay, the boy perhaps wants to take the desk somewhere. Got it? And B here accepts the request. So can is there highlighted. Let's look at another picture there. Two boys talking there. So can you guess the dialogue there? What is going on in between them? Fine. So A says, could you say congratulations to your brother on my behalf? Okay, means I cannot say it to your brother, so would you pass my message to your brother? Got it? So there you can see could, that is highlighted. Now you have to fill in what should be there. Can you guess? Okay, so if you are ready to accept this request, you have to say yes, sure. Okay, so you might, for example, say yes, sure. Or you can also say, if you are unlikely to accept this request, you might say no, I'm sorry. Got it? So this is up to you, what you actually do. Have you got the point? Okay. So this is the list of examples that are given in your textbook as well. Okay. And did you notice some of the words that are highlighted? What are they? Definitely. So they are can, could, and would. So these three words are highlighted there. Okay, so you might have certain guess about what actually we are going to discuss within grammar. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the use of can, could, and would, dear students. So you might have some ideas about what they actually are, but for the time being, let me make you clear about what actually they are. Okay, so as you can see on the screen as well, can, could, and would, these three are called modal verbs. Okay, so these are auxiliaries. Okay, and auxiliaries are of two types. How many types? Two. Okay, basically we can divide all those auxiliaries into two types: modals and non-modals. So let me give you an example of these two. Okay, why these are modal verbs and why the rest of the others are non-modal verbs. Okay, so you can see here, let me start with non-modal verbs, and there comes modal verbs. Okay, so there is long list of auxiliary verbs: be verbs, have verbs, and do verbs. Okay, so these three category verbs belong to non-modal or primary auxiliary verbs, and rest of the verbs, for example, will, would, can, could, shall, should, okay, etc., are called modal auxiliaries. Among them, we are going to discuss can, could, and would today. Now, let me differentiate between these two. So, be verbs, for example. So, these verbs, be, have, and do verbs are used differently according to the subject. For example, he is dancing. Look at here, be verb. Okay, what are the be verbs? Good. Is, am, are, was, and were. What are the have verbs? Good, have, and has. So I'm not talking about their its past tense because it is only one. And do verbs here, for the time being, you have to know two. Okay, do and does here, because did is a single verb that is used with every subject. So he is dancing, I am dancing, and if you put, for example, they as subject, so what comes there? Good. So are should be there. Look, they are dancing. So based on this presence of the subject, you have to use different auxiliary verbs when you come to choose, or you have to use non-modal auxiliary verbs. Got it? I have, you have, but he or she has. Got it? Do, I do, they do, you do, but he does. A boy does, in that way. So based on the subject, you have to use different forms. But when you come to the modal verbs, dear students, you have to use the same. For example, I will, you will, he would, she would, they would, etc. So according to the subject, we don't choose the, because we don't have any options there. Got it? So I could, you could, he could, she could, etc. Clear? Good. Okay, shall we move forward? Good. Next, modal verbs are the verbs that show possibility, intent means intention, that means you want something to do, for example, you want to do something. Ability, advice or necessity, there can be others as well, basically they do so. Next is always come with other verbs, that means there should be another verb. To be a verb, an auxiliary verb, for example, there must be another verb. Got it? For example, I am a teacher. This is not an auxiliary verb, but I am teaching now. I am teaching now. Now, am is the auxiliary verb. Got it? So, they must come with another verb. But when you use modal verbs, for example, you have to use base form. For example, I can speak English well. They could fly in the sky. Look, the verb form there. This is, the verbs are there in their base form. Do you know base form? Yes, without s, es or ed. Such forms are to be used. Okay. And next thing, dear student, you have to remember is they are auxiliary verbs and they can be used in making yes/no questions as well or other types of questions. For example, if you just place this can at the beginning, it becomes a question. Got it? But you have to remember to give a question mark there. Now, your question sounds like this: can I speak English well? Okay. Or if you, for example, place could at the beginning, could they fly in the sky? And there must be a question mark. So, I hope that I am able to make it clear about their use. And one more thing, dear students. So, how the meaning is differentiated between other verbs and modal verbs. For example, I swim in the river. It means it's like a sort of habit. Got it? I swim in the river every Saturday, something like that. But if you, for example, write, I can swim in the river, what does it mean then? It means it is your special ability. This is your habit. Got it? This is your ability. I can even swim in the river. Can you? Like this. Got it? Okay. Now, let's discuss about how these three basically. What are we going to discuss? Which modal auxiliaries? Good. What are they? Can, could, and would. Okay. So let me present some of the conditions in which these three verbs are, auxiliary verbs are used. Are you ready? Good. The first one is about can. As I just presented two examples there. Okay. So it expresses general ability or inability. For inability, you have to use not there. Okay. For example, I can swim in the river. This is my ability. Okay. Can you swim in the river? You can ask in that way. Or you can also express your inability. For example, I cannot climb a tree. I cannot go skiing or something like that. Next use is, it is used to ask for a permission. For example, can I ask you a question? Or you can add please as well, as you see there on the screen. Can I ask a question, please? You raise your hand, okay, and speak like this. Can I ask a question, please? Okay, or you can say, can't I go home now? Okay, so these are answer either yes or no, but they are used for permission, asking for permission. Clear? Good. Next use, dear students, is it is used to give or refuse a permission. Just we discussed it. Yes? Okay. So you can borrow my pen if you like. Okay, so I do have pen, and if you like, you can borrow. Or you can't take books home from here. Suppose I am librarian and I may say you can't take books home from here. You can study here, but you cannot take my or these books from here. So when you refuse or give permission, we use can. Okay, can continue. You can also express your offers. As I said earlier, for example, you are carrying 2 or 3 bags, okay? And I may, for example, say you, can I help you carrying your load, for example. You didn't ask me, but I, let's say, present my, let's say, help to you. And I say, can I help you with your bags, for example? Or you can say, can we book a ticket for you? In this way, you can express offers as well. Dear students, this is all about the use of can. Let's move on to another modal auxiliary, that is could. Okay. So could, as you saw in the example sentences before, is used to express possibility or impossibility. Okay. For example, they could come by car. Maybe, that means you are not sure of exactly how they will come, but you may say, they could come by car. Okay. Or my parents could be at home. I don't know. For example, I am here somewhere else, and I may say my parents could be at home. Maybe they are at home. They might be somewhere else as well. You don't know. So it expresses possibility or impossibility. Asking for permission. So it is used to make more formal and polite requests. So you might be in sort of confusion. For example, earlier I showed can is used for permission. Again, I presented another slide, another information. It is used for asking permission. Then what is this? You might get confusion. Got it? So, for example, if 2 people, you are talking with your friend, you can use can. But if you are talking with your teachers, dear students, you have to use could, because you have to be more formal as well as polite to your teachers, don't you? Okay. So, for example, could I ask you a question, please? You raise your hand and ask your teacher, for example. Could I ask you a question, please? Or you are talking, suppose you are talking to a stranger. Got it? So, could we go home now? In a formal situation, you are in a meeting and you may say, could we go home now? In this way, you can ask for permission. Next use of could is making requests. It is used to tell or ask someone to do something politely. Okay. For example, could you take my message, please? Okay. Or could I have my bill, please? You are in a restaurant. Okay, you order food, you insert them, and finally you have to pay bill, and you ask for the bill. Got it? And you say, could I have my bill, please? Because you don't know the waiter or the person who brings the bill. You are not close. That's why you have to use could in that situation. Got it? I hope that you have clear idea about when you use can and when you use could. Are you clear? Good. Okay, so another use of could is make suggestions. Used to make suggestions, as you can see in the example there. We could meet at the weekend. This is my suggestion. Okay. For example, you have not met your friend for a long time, then you might propose like this: we could meet at the weekend. Okay, or you could eat anything you like. Okay, dear student, let's move on to another use, that is would. So when you use would, you have to be careful about the structure. Particularly, you can see two structures there: would you plus infinitive, that means base form of verb, or would you mind plus VING. So they are generally used for making requests in the form of questions. You can see the first structure there: would you carry this load for me, please? Got it? Would you carry? This is the infinitive form of the verb. And next is, would you mind telling me about the incident? You can add me there. Would you mind telling about the incident, or telling me about the incident? In that way you can make requests. Okay, let's move on to the comparison between will and would, how that can be different. Okay, so will, when you use will, for example, will you make a dinner? Will you make dinner? So this is direct. Okay, that might be more informal as well. And if you say instead, would you make dinner, dear students, it is less direct. Got it? It is more polite as well. That's why, so you have to think about the condition when you are actually speaking, who you are speaking to, etc. Got it? So if you are speaking with your friend, you can be very casual or informal. But if you are speaking to your teachers, seniors, got it? In a formal situation, for example, you have to be more polite, or less direct language should be used. Okay. So next use of would is to make offers and invitations. So it's quite similar to the one that I just discussed. Okay, would you like, or would you like to? Okay, would you like another drink, or would you like to come around tomorrow evening? So this is kind of invitation, which is related to kind of proposal. Got it? Okay, dear students, with this discussion, I hope that you have crystal clear ideas about when you use can, could, and would. Okay, so let's do some practical exercises that are given in your textbook as well. Let's see. Okay, exercise B. It says, complete the following conversations using can, could, and would. Are you ready? Okay, please do all those exercises. Okay, dear students, let's say start with A. You see there, A says, I get you something to drink? And B replies, yes please, a glass of lemonade for me. So what do you think, which can, could, or would? Which is possible there? Great, you can use can there. Or even if you are talking to somebody whom you don't know, probably you are at a restaurant, suppose, you might use could as well. Get it? So can or could. If you use can, you are informal. If you use could, you are formal. Let's see B. A. You tell me where the nearest community school is, please. Okay. B. I'm sorry, I'm not from around here. So do you think these people are known to each other? Definitely not. So use could. Very good. You have to use could there. Okay. Let's see next. Number C. A. You like me to answer the phone? B. Yes, please. Be lovely. Imagine. Okay. So what is the condition? Somebody expecting to answer the phone call. So what do you use there? Can, could, or would? Okay, in the first gap you have to use would. Good. And in the second, yes, that is also imaginative situation. You have to use again would there. That would be lovely. Let's see next number, that is D. A. I have finished my homework. I play now. B. Okay, you may. For example, a boy is talking to his mother. A girl is talking to her teacher, for example. So this might be good. Can should be there. Can I play now? This is just plain request. Number E. A. I come around to your house sometime later. B. Well, actually my dad is not feeling well. Maybe another time. Okay, maybe another time. So what do you think? What should be there? So B, look at the expression of B. They are quite informal type. Got it? Maybe another time, in that way. So you can use can there. This is a direct request. So let's see next number, that is F. ... You mind passing me the register, please? And B replies, yes, of course. Here you go. Okay, he provides. What do you think? What should be there? Very good. There should be would, because you see there mind, you mind plus VING stock. So that's why none other than would should be there. Okay. Number G. A. ... You like me to talk to the head teacher? B. Oh, yes, please. Blank space. You. So what do you think? What should be there? Good. Would you like me to talk to the head teacher? Oh, yes, please. Would you? Good. H. A. A. ... You lend me rupees 200, please? B. I suppose so, but I need it back before next month. So this is a possibility of, let's say, giving 200 rupees to somebody else. What do you think? What should be there? Definitely, could should be there. Next, let's see the next exercise. That is number I. ... You mind if I use your pen, madam? Look, somebody is asking somebody else who is respectable person. Not at all. Go ahead. What do you think? Yes, again, you see, you mind sort of stocks are there. That's why you have to use good, would there. Would you mind if I use your pen, madam? Not at all. Go ahead. Good. Okay, dear student, this is the end of the task related to grammar. So let me present, or let's say, an activity for you as a homework. Okay, please do them and please show them to your teacher. Will you do that? Okay, this is a task for you. Write any 10 sentences using can, could and would, and please don't forget to show your teachers. Will you do that? Yes, definitely. You're quite genius. I love it. Thank you. Dear students, with this discussion, we have come to the end of, or we have to wrap up the grammar item. Now, we'll move on to the next item, that is definitely writing first. So let's begin with the task. It says, write a letter to the head teacher of your school on behalf of your class, requesting him or her to organize an inter-house volleyball tournament in your school. Make requests for managing all required supporting goods for the tournament. So, dear students, you might have gone through the instruction there. So, what are we going to do now? Definitely, we are going to write a letter. To whom? Okay, when you write a letter, you have to address somebody. Who is the addressee here? Good, the head teacher of your school, not my school. Got it? Okay. And what is the subject? Why you need to write this letter? Yes, definitely. To organize an inter-house volleyball tournament, means competition. For example, you might have different houses, okay, in your school. For example, blue house, red house, or something like that. Got it? And here, the students are asking to organize a tournament in between the students of different houses, for example. Got it? And one more thing is that you have to request for managing the materials as well. For example, you might have needed different things. Okay, dear student, let me present a sample of a request letter. Okay, so this is a request letter. Suryodaya 3, Ilam, to the principal, Fickle Secondary School, Suryodaya Ilam, 20th May 2022. So this is my letter to you. Now you have to write similar type of letter. Got it? This letter, dear sir, this letter is regarding Avinav Basnet, a 9th grade student in your school. Unfortunately, he has a high fever and our family doctor has advised him to take a rest for a few days. So, I request you to grant him a 4 days leave. Continue. He will manage to do all the tasks missed as soon as he recovers. We have talked to the class teacher about the same. Thank you very much for your kind consideration regarding the matter. Sincerely. And finally, this is the signatory, Jivan Basnet. And Jivan Basnet, supposed name, is the sender of this letter. So now, you might have visualized a kind of, let's say, letter in your mind as well, haven't you? Okay, very good. Let's see the parts of the letter. Dear students, don't panic a lot about, let's say, formatting and structure, but basically, your letter should have 3 parts. That is, introduction, got it, body, and conclusion. And when you write, for example, a formal letter, for example, a letter to the editor, letter to principal or something like that, okay? So you have to have such divisions so that the letter becomes more systematic as well as formal in tone. More is the format or layout, how your letter should look like. Please be careful about while writing letters, because you have to strictly, let's say, follow the format. Okay. First there appears sender's address, then comes receiver's address, okay, followed by date, salutation, later body, closing, and finally there should be a signature, means your name. Okay, so let's try to let's say visualize the parts in the sample that I have presented earlier. Okay, so what is it? Good, this is sender's address. Okay, and this all is to the principal, Fikal Secondary School, Suridailam. This is good. This is the receiver's address. And when was the letter written? Good, 20th May 2022. And there can be let's say subject as well, subject, something like that. Okay, and this is called salutation, dear sir, and you must have a comma there and your body of the letter, and the letter should follow. You can say this is called the closing, or it is also called complimentary close, and finally this is your signature. Got it? So now let's write a letter. Okay, let's come to our task. So when you write letters, generally students, okay, so there are two, let's say, let me make it clear. There is a straight line at the left, let's say, corner of your page, for example, left side of the page. You can start, for example, at the left corner. Okay, your letter starts here. Okay, and 2 fields should be there. For example, you write sender's address. Got it? Sender's address, 2 field. 2 means, for example, receiver, and you followed by, for example, date. Got it? And there is salutation. So here you have to choose what sort of, let's say, letter you are writing. Suppose you are writing a letter to your friend. Got it? You have to use different salutation than when you are writing to your principal. Got it? Or school administration, something like that. So when you write formal letters, generally you can write dear sir, if you know the person is sir, or you can use also ma'am, or you can use madam. Okay, or sometimes you can use dear plus surname. Okay, for example, dear Mr. Sharma, something like that. Are you clear? So if you are writing a personal letter, got it? So you can use names. For example, dear Ali. In this way, you can just start. This is called salutation. Am I able to make it clear? Good. So let's see the sample. Okay, you can write differently. This is just an example. As I said earlier, I'm going to present you a sample. Got it? Okay, dear students, so when let's say showed you let's say general template of a letter, here you have to do two things. One, request the administration to organize inter-house volleyball tournament, as well as request them to manage necessary sporting materials. For example, you might need ball, net, or something like that. Got it? Okay. So this is just a sample. Got it? So don't rely on this. You can write in different ways as well. The content might be different. Okay. 2, the head teacher. So I haven't mentioned that, let's say, sender's address here. Why? Because you are writing at a school. Got it? So this is just a sample which is written by students sitting inside the classroom or at the premises, school premises. That's why I haven't mentioned the field, that is sender's address. Got it? For example, you might have written here something, for example, Bhaktapur 3 Kailari or something like that, informal letters, but the teacher knows that this is written inside the school. That's why I have omitted this part. 2, the head teacher, Ganesh Secondary School, Brain Kanta, Kathmandu. This is just an example. Written on 20th July 2021. Dear Sir, with due respect, we, the students of grade 9, would like to request you to organize an inter-house volleyball tournament in our school. So this is the introduction, why you are going to write. Okay. So our school has been doing well in different extracurricular activities in our municipality level as well as in district level competitions. Recently, we are sort of such activities which are thought to foster students' inner potential. So you can, for example, elaborate this as well. For example, you can highlight sports importance, for example, okay, mental health, physical health, okay, coordination or something like that. It also, let's say, make people disciplined as well. Okay, so sports have many advantages. Got it? So you can highlight these as well. This is just a model, as I said earlier. So we kindly request the school administration, including the head teacher, to organize a volleyball tournament inside school. Additionally, we also request you to manage all the materials needed to organize the tournament. I didn't make the list of whatever things you need, for example, volleyball, net, or for example, whistle, something like that. Got it? And this is third paragraph. Next paragraph. We hope to hear a positive response from you. So what is next? That means you are being hopeful about the school administration. And when it comes, for example, yours sincerely, okay, so it also differs when you write a personal letter, for example, letter to your friend with love. Suppose you are writing a letter to your mother, you can write with love. Got it? Best regards, kind regards, something like that. But when you are writing a formal letter, you have to use different, for example, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, faithfully yours, respectfully yours, etc. Got it? And finally, this is the signature of the sender. That means grade 9 student. It means you. So I hope that I became able to make you clear about how to write a formal letter. Am I? Good. So this is, dear students, we are at the end of the class today. Now let me present a task for you. Are you ready to do that? Good. So this is the task. Look, write a thank you letter to your head teacher who has organized an inter-house volleyball tournament in accordance with your previous request. So with the base of the request letter that I presented, okay, you might be able to write a thank you letter. Got it? Suppose your teacher, head teacher or school administration organized inter-house volleyball tournament and write letter thanking the school administration. So will you do that? Good. Okay. So dear students, we have come to the end of today's lesson. So we discussed 2 items today: grammar, modal verbs, basically can, could and would, and writing a formal letter. I hope that I could make you satisfied. Thank you very much for your active participation and patience. We'll meet again in the next episode. Till then, goodbye and namaste.